Don't blink. We're going to make a split panel card, and it's so quick and easy, you might miss it. Are you ready to make a card that has no waste? Well, let's head down to the crafting table. Let's get busy. Here is the split panel card that we're going to make. Look at this. You won't believe how easy this is to create. Grab your trimmer, and we are going to just take a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 11, and we're going to cut it on the short side at 4 1/4. Now, you will be able to make 2 cards out of this. We are going to turn our cardstock the long way, and we are going to do 2 cuts and 1 score line. Our first cut is at 1 1/2. Then we're going to scoot it over and cut at 2 1/2. And now we're going to score at 1 1/2. Make sure you move that cutting blade out of the way, and let's score. Now let's see what our card looks like. We're going to take this score line right here and fold it down. Bring in your bone folder and give that a good crease. And this is how the card is going to look. This will go down here, and we're going to attach it with our panel. No waste. Can you believe that? Let's get this decorated. Now, what I've decided to do is I have cut 2 panels of really pretty patterned paper. You can use whatever you have. And then I cut a mat that is a coordinating color, and I picked it up from my patterned paper right here. So now all we need to do is add these 2 panels. Now I want to remind you, all the measurements will be over on creativemomentsbyg.com. To find that link, just go below this video, click more, and you'll see need measurements and supplies, and there'll be a link, and it'll take you right to those measurements and supplies. So let's go ahead and lay this down. I'm going to grab my favorite glue. Just going to put it like this. Now, let me give you a tip. If you have directional paper and you've created this mat, you want to make sure that you pay attention to that when you cut it. I wanted my little flowers to be standing up, so I cut it accordingly, okay? Let's go ahead and get this one laid down, and look at that beautiful paper on the back side. Oh my goodness, it's just as pretty, isn't it? I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. Love it. Now for this panel right here, I went ahead and I picked up this Berry Burst again, and look at the embossing folder I used. That is called plaster painting. Oh, it's so pretty. And it's just going to make it pop. When you emboss a mat, it just takes it from being one-dimensional, I think, to really adding another dimension. So let's go ahead and add that. We're ready to put this together. That's how quick and easy it is. So let's get our glue on these mats, and I'm going to add it to the top tab right here. And because I'm using wet glue that allows me, I can wiggle and get it exactly where I need it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to attach this mat to this panel right here. Now let me show you how to put this together. We're going to add this panel right here at the bottom. We're going to line it up just perfectly. Make sure it's just right up against that edge. And we're going to take this one. Now, what's so great about this panel is you can add it in the middle. That is beautiful. You can add it over to the right side. You can also add it over to the left side. It just depends. You might decide to make a whole bunch of these and just change it around. For this one, I think we're gonna add it to the middle. Stay with us. I have 2 cards to show you at the end where they are put on the side. So we're not going to set this up on dimensionals. We're just going to use our tape runner. And I know that I need about 2 strips of tape on it. Keeping them close together, I just added 2 little strips of tape. Now I'm going to make sure, once again, that this is really held down exactly where I want it, and I'm just going to set this down, making sure that we have the same margins top to bottom, side to side. And before I push it down, I'm going to bring in my T ruler because I want to make sure that it is straight. And I can see that it's straight, so I'm going to push this one and that one. Love my T ruler. And look at that. But we're not done. I mean, I know this is easy, but we still have a little bit of decorating to do, right? So I have cut a mat for the inside of this. And because I'm using some flowers from Mixed Florals, and remember, use what you have in your floral stash. This is the mat that goes on the inside, and I'm going to stamp it just a little bit with some flowers. Let's look at where I can put the flowers that you can't see them. So we have our mat right here. This is just another tip. So I know I can put my flowers right here in the center because I don't want to be able to see them, right? So right here is where I'm going to put my flowers. Here's another tip. We have used this stamp so much that it doesn't stick to the acrylic block. What to do? Well, what we like to do is you can take a sanitizer and you can rub it on the back. You can also scrub it with a little bit of soap and water. I have a little bitty sanitizer right here. So I'm just going to put a little bit on it and I'm going to rub it all over the back. And then I'm going to dry it. And it's sticky once again, so I am going to put this right here. And now it sticks perfectly. So I'm just going to take my stamp pad to the actual stamp, tap, 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 and I'm going to stamp it right in the center. Now let's make sure that we have it. This is the time before you glue it down to make sure it's right where you want it. Because if you had an uh-oh, what could you do? Just flip it over, right? Not to worry. And now I'm going to bring in all these beautiful blends and we're going to do a little bit of coloring. The card was easy, but I want to jazz it up, right? So let's do that. I'm going to take Berry Burst and I'm going to flood these petals with the light color, and then I'm going to come back in with the dark color. Now I'm going to bring in that dark. I'm going to bring in a light pink for the top part. Now I'm going to bring in, for our small flowers, we're going to do Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to bring in light and I'm just going to dab it over these flowers. But they look a little flat, right? So I'm going to bring in the dark and I'm just going to go over the side just a little bit to give it a little bit of shading. Look at that. So pretty. So let's go ahead and stamp our message on the inside. Now it's going to be very small. Grateful for you. Tap, tap, tap. So here's the inside of our card, but we still need to decorate the outside piece. Let me show you what I've done. I went ahead and I stamped the flower. Now this time I'm going to color it just a little bit differently. I'm going to use this light pink and I'm going to create some more shading. So we're just going to put our light pink on the side. I'm going to go ahead and color this top part. And now we're going to bring in our berry burst. And I'm just going to put it right on the edge. Now, you can see the lines, and I don't like that. So I'm going to bring back in my light flirty flamingo, and I'm going to go over that, and it will make them blend much better. Now I'm going to come in with our Lost Lagoon, our light again, and I'm going to color all these flowers. Okay, and now I'm ready to cut this out. And here is our flower cut out. Look how beautiful the shading looks. So pretty. And we are ready to add this right to the front of our split panel card with no waste. We also stamped this sentiment, "You make my heart smile." So I'm going to set this up on dimensionals. We're just going to add it right here. And I'm going to set this right across, just like that. Now I'm going to just use some tape from the tape runner. So let's bring our silicone mat. Let's put just a little bit of tape right in the center. And then center this. And look at that. Oh. Love those colors. Love how easy this card is to create. I hope you like this. Would you like to make another card with me? Let's do it. Now for this one, I am using some words from here. We're going to grab our cardstock, and once again, on the short side, we're just going to cut it at 4 1/4. This will make 2 cards. So we're going to turn it long ways, and we're just going to cut, cut, and score. So let's cut at 1 1/2. That's creating the bottom panel. Let's cut at 2 1/2. That creates the panel that holds everything together. And let's scoot it over and score at 1 1/2. And that creates the top tab. We're going to take this score line, go ahead and fold it over, bring in your bone folder and give it a good crease. And now we have our panel for the bottom, and we have our panel that's going to hold everything together. Let's look at the colors we're using. Now, because we are using bright yellow flowers, look at the paper we've selected. So pretty. And you know, both sides are beautiful, but I think we want this geometric design. Let's go ahead and glue that down. One of the reasons I love this card is that there's no waste. You don't have to worry about creating more scraps for you to work with because there is no waste on this split panel card. We're going to lay that down right there. We have our mats all ready. And we have our mat cut for the inside. But once again, we want to add some flowers. We're going to let the pattern paper do the work for us. We actually cut out some flowers of the beautiful pattern paper that we used. We used Floral Delight, and as you can see, they have lots of beautiful flowers. You don't even have to color. You don't have to use your markers or your blends. Just let the pattern paper do the work for you. So we're going to use these two big ones, I think, for the outside. We're going to add this right to the side. So let's go ahead and just cut off the extra. Going to bring in our Night of Navy. Tap, tap, tap. You make a difference. Now let's just add this to the inside of our card. We're ready to add our mats on our panels. We have a panel right down here. And once again, we've used that plaster 3D embossing folder just to give it dimension, and we're going to add it right to this panel just to make it pop. So let's go ahead and put our card together. Let's line this up right at the bottom. And we're going to put this right on the side. So I already know that I can put 2 strands of tape from the tape runner. So here's 1, 2, 1, 2, right up against each other. I'm going to keep that positioned right where I want it. And I'm going to put it right on the side this time. Now, before I push it down, I'm going to bring in my T-ruler again. And there we have it. Look at this. So easy. And now all we need to do is decorate, right? So we have these 2 beautiful flowers. And we have our sentiment. I think we need to add it just like that. So I'm going to set them up on dimensionals. And look, so pretty. Now I want to make sure and not put any dimensionals over here. I want to just set it up right on this side, right here. How bright and cheery is this card? Split panel, no waste, just what we love. So we want you to look at all the cards that we've made and take a moment and tell us, which coloring do you like the best? Which color coordination? Look at this one. I showed you this earlier, but look at those beautiful hibiscus. You open it up and look at that. This is the cutest little stamp. Thanks for being so kind. I love that color too. And finally, we're going to bring in our oranges. We love this pattern paper. You know I do. I miss you already. And then we let the pattern paper do the work for us. Once again, we just cut out those oranges. So take a moment, leave a comment. Which is your favorite color coordination? Well, Maudie and I hope you enjoyed this split panel card, no waste, as much as we did creating it for you. We hope you were inspired and that you take a moment to share, like, and subscribe. Only takes a second. Well, until next time, Maudie and I wish you lots of creative moments. Bye-bye.